Hello there, redeemed of the Lord, righteousness of the Father. Welcome to another episode on my channel. And today's episode, there was this thing my sisters and I did on our group that was so interesting, and I thought it would be nice to actually share something like this with you guys. On our group, we were discussing on our first dates with our husbands and stories of how we met our husband, and I thought I haven't actually shared that on this channel, so why not let me share the story of how I met my husband. My husband has always been a friend of our family, even though as at that time I was in school and we've never really met physically. Most times when I'm in school, that is when him and his brothers always come around to our house, and when I'm at home, I don't actually get to see them. But I've always heard a lot about them. My brother always talk about these brothers that are his friends. So one day I was in school in February of 2011. I was in school and my brother sent me a message that he just used my picture as his display picture on his profile, and his friend messaged him and says, "Oh, I would like to meet your sister. Can you send him my pin?" and all like that. So my brother was telling me that don't mind this guy, don't even bother yourself. I'm just telling you because I want you to be aware that I'm not going to give him your number, your pin, because he's on serious. You know these guys that just want to what. So I told him it's up to you. He's your friend. If you want to give him my pin, it's okay. If you don't want to give him my pin, it's good luck to you. Because at that time in my mind, I had already come to a place in my own mind that I wasn't going to be in a relationship. Honestly, there was this poster that I saw one day when I was walking along my streets. I think it was a church, and they were advertising like a singles forum, and the title of their conference was Love Comes Softly. And in that moment, I was asking myself, if love comes softly, so what then have I been having all along? What is that relationship? What is the label that I will put on the relationship that I've been in all along? And I told myself in that moment that I think what the problem is, I need to know myself first. I need to get to know myself, because I could recollect like back to back every time I've never really had time to study myself or get to know myself before going into another relationship from a previous relationship. So I told myself, I'm going to just be on my own. I'm just going to get to know myself, what I like, what I don't like, what I want in a relationship and what I don't want. Because mind you, my previous relationship has been toxic as at that moment. I've been in relationships with people with baggages, people with baby mama drama, people that are way older than me, abusive relationships. So I told myself that I was going to be by myself, get to know myself, what I like, and exactly point out type of things that I want in my relationship. I told myself I wasn't going to have people with dramas anymore. I wasn't going to, the love that I'm going to start experiencing from that moment, it must come gently, it must come softly. I must experience peace in my relationship. So when he told me his friend wanted my pin and my number, I was just like, whatever, if you give him, fine. If you don't give him, good luck with that. So when my brother eventually gave him my pin and we got talking, and he asked me out, like, he didn't really ask me out. I think he asked me out directly or indirectly, because my husband is a very shy person actually. He asked me out indirectly, and I told him at that time that I wasn't interested in any relationship, that I wasn't looking to be with anybody. I just want to be alone. So, and he respected that, and he said, okay, we can be friends. So we were like friends, we became friends. In fact, we became a chat buddy. Like every day we would chat. Once I wake up, his message is already on my phone. How are you? How was your night? Did you sleep well? You know, that type of lovely nothing. Yes, we were like always checking up on each other and always asking details about what life is giving each other daily. all throughout that time, I was in my last year in the university then, and we were about to write our exam. I think towards September, October, November. So, and November was my birthday, so I was planning to have a birthday party actually. So I told him, and when he came, mind you, I told myself that, well, if he insists on keep asking me that he wants to date me, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start giving him bills. I'm going to use bills to chase him away. Like, by the time I give him all the bills of this world, he will run away from me and say, ah, this one is materialistic. So it was around my birthday time, and he asked me, oh, what are you doing for your birthday? So I told him, I gave him lists and bill. Like, you would think he's my father. I gave him the list and bill that I want that for my birthday. And I think in his mind, he told me in his mind that he just smiled, that he just laughed and said, look at this one. Yeah, look at this girl. So for my birthday, I organized the birthday party, and I told him if he wants to come, he can come, because we haven't met even until then, but we shared pictures. And remember, we've not met physically. We've not met each other physically. So he asked my brother if my brother was coming for the birthday party. My brother asked me, and I persuaded my brother that they both can come. So, but all the while, my brother was still always sabotaging him and telling me that don't even mind him, like don't even think, because it's not serious, you know. I think because one thing with brothers, they don't want their friends, because they know their friends, you know, they've seen each other's secrets, so they don't want their friends to spoil their sister. So he's always like, don't mind him, what. So when they came, and I remember the first time that I set my eyes on him. So my sister came to call me from the hall of the party that, oh, my brother is here, is outside at the taxi is dropping him. So I ran downstairs to go meet them, and as he was coming out of the taxi, I was running towards them. And one moment he just like looked up. Hey, he looked up and our eyes met. Hey, you know this scene in the movies where something will just pause, gang. That was what happened. It was just like gang. As we looked at each other, something just in my heart. I just had this feeling like my heart almost exploded out of my chest. Like, I was like, oh my word, this guy is cute. I mean, he is cute. But I had to like swallow it in and just quickly do babe, you know. So we greeted each other, and it smelled good too. So we greeted each other, we hugged and we talked, and I took them to the hall. And you know, as a celebrant, people were calling me right, left and center. So I left him sitting down, and my brother, he's not a stranger, so he just left him there. He went to meet other people to just, you know, have fun and all. So as I was trying to find how to serve him some food, I looked around to see where he was sitting, and I saw him talking to a friend of mine. When I saw that, as in my eyes, my countenance, everything just changed. Like, Bamio. What did they stop for here? See, person that I'm already gelling for, like right here, right now, is already talking to somebody else. So immediately, I think he saw my face too, the way my face changed, and I became angry. While I was angry, my good brother was on the other side there laughing. As in, this thing almost in that instant, I was like, why is he laughing? Like, what is funny about what is going on right now? Because I think he has always, there's just something about him and I. Is like, I think he always knew how to study me, even from the phone. So immediately he saw my face, right? He knew that something was wrong, because after, you know, now we discussed these things with each other, that what was happening that day. And so he told me that the moment he saw my face, the way it changed, what made him laugh was that, boy, you said you are not interested. I'm trying to talk to your friend and you are still and you are angry. What are you angry about exactly? Because now you say you know what now. Oh my god, I'm trying not to laugh so hard, but yeah, it was just a funny scene, honestly. And that after my birthday party, I think because of that thing that happened at that time, because we hadn't discussed this then, right? I decided not to talk to him. Like, I decided not to chat him up. I decided not to like be in his business. And for some reason, I don't know why he chose to, he did not message me as well. So for like 2 weeks we didn't talk. And then when he eventually like messaged me and was like, what happened? I thought we were having a nice conversation going on here. So I told him exactly how I felt, like, bro, what happened? Like, you came then, you were already like psyching my friends up. So I thought, like, don't let me be in your business. Let me let you do what you want to do. And he was like, no, what happened that day was that as he was sitting down alone, he saw my friend also sitting down alone. And he felt like, so that it doesn't look like they are both lonely and not having anything, let's just have somebody to conversate with, like, let's just be friendly here. So that was why they were talking, and he never asked her out. They were just basically discussing things like school and everything, asking her name and getting to know her, and that was all. So I was like, oh, I thought you were asking her out. I thought you wanted to quickly do, and since I'm not. So Isha told me that, no, that okay, so now that I'm jealous, now that I've told him that how I felt, that do I want to be with him, brothers and sisters, my friends, I still said no. I mean, even then when they have caught me in the corner, I still said no, that no, I'm not interested. I just want to know myself. I want to just be alone. I want to just, all these reasons are actually valid, because honestly, I was just done at that time. I was just totally done. And I didn't know, because of my past experience, I didn't know what to expect or what it would look like, what it would feel like. So it was like, okay, fine, good, cool with you. But when are you coming home? You're done with exams and it's almost Christmas time. When are you coming home? Let's come to IB, let me take you out, let me cruise you around. And I was like, nah, I'm not coming. What? I still have to do my project. I still have to, all your lecturers have gone home. Dupe, come home. So I said, okay, let me go back home then. So I came home, I think a few days to Christmas, then we went out. We went out to a restaurant, and we sat down, talked, and sitting down with him at the restaurant and, just being beside him, it just felt so peaceful. It just felt so calm. It just felt so gentle. And in that moment, I knew this was what I want. This is what I want. But something was just blocking me from going forward with it, saying yes to him at that time. So I told him, well, still, I'm not going to promise anything, but really, I like you, but I'm not promising anything, honestly, for now. So it was like, okay. Then the next day, some of his friends also came too, and some of his friends were already giving him like, hi, girlfriend is fine, your girlfriend is this and all. My brother too was there on that day. My brother did not know what was going on, so we were just like casual friends, right? Hanging out, casual friends. So my brother, because if you had known that day we were already discussing how everything is going to be, in order. I'm sure I would have that day, because my brother is very possessive and very, very protective. So we left it at that. The next day, I think it was on a Friday or so, he was like, oh, let's go boogie down, let's go to the club. And I was like, I'm ready, let's go. So we went with some of my friends and his friend, and I think his brother was there as well that time. So it was at this club. When we were when we were going to this club, he was sitting in front, I was sitting at the back of his seat, right, directly at his back. And I remember holding his hands at the side all through to the club, in the club, and on our way back home. And it felt so good. I mean, it felt so good. Oh my God. It felt so good. And I told him, okay, maybe we can see where this leads to. I wouldn't mind trying, because I feel like it ticks some of the boxes that I had put down. And then I remember that was the first time we shared a kiss in the car. Like he turned around and I kissed him. And that was how our relationship started. I got to meet his mom. I've actually known his elder brother from a different place, so but yeah, I got to meet his brother well properly. And his second brother, he wasn't around. He had already traveled out of the country as at that time. But yeah, I heard a lot about him. He showed me his picture and all like that. And that was how we started our relationship. And then I'm going to the part where it became like really serious. Because, remember that I told you that my brother has always been against him and high dating and all like that. It was difficult for me to come out to my brother and tell him that I'm dating your friend. So one day I was in my boyfriend's house and he was on the phone with somebody, and I remember how the conversation went made me realize that it was a girl that was on the phone. So when he finished talking, I asked him who it was, and he said it was his ex-girlfriend. Hey. And in that moment, I just packed all of my stuff. I packed everything without even waiting to hear anything he has to say. I packed everything and I told him that I was going back home. I didn't actually make it look like I was angry, but I made it look like it's an urgency that I need to be back at home. So it was like, are you sure everything is fine? I said, no, everything is all right. So I packed my things. I went back home. It was when I got home. I've always been somebody like that. I will get home and start sending missiles to him, like, this is what you did. This is what you did. That's why I left. So when I got home, I started sending message that, see, bro, I've told you before we got into this thing that I don't want problem in my life. That was why I asked you specifically if you have a girlfriend or if you were in a serious relationship, because I made a commitment to myself that I wasn't going to be in a relationship with someone who has an entanglement or any sort of exclusivity as at that time. So it was like, no, this lady is my ex. She was my ex. She needed some things from me that I had with me, some of her things that I had with her, and she wanted them. So I was like, but I thought you told me you've had this relationship for the longest, as in like you guys have been apart for a long while before I came into the picture. And it was like, yes, but these things, she doesn't stay in High B, she stays in Lagos, and she's not always available every time. So that was why she was calling. It's now that she wants those things, and she's trying to make arrangements on how she can get those things. So I said, okay, it's fine then, but I'm still not going to take your word for it until I'm sure of myself. So I think that was what made him also say, okay, since you don't want to believe me, or since you think this is going to be like a problem, what about me? I also have something on my part that I think you should do. So I asked him, what is that? And he said, your brother, when are we going to tell him that we are dating? If you know my brother, you will know it's not somebody that I can just come and tell that, okay, okay. Hey, I told him, okay, he's your friend. You also have a part to play in that, so you need to tell him as well as I do. I'll have to tell him as well. When I told my brother that I'm dating his friend, the words that I heard that day, the words that I heard from my brother's mother that day, I made me rethink my life. I went back and I told him that, this thing that my brother said, So it was like, because my brother told me that at this point in your life, you'll be looking for somebody that is serious. My friend, marriage is not in his book in the next 5, 6, 10 years. So you should better get yourself a somebody that is serious. Don't even think you found someone at all. It's not who you are meant to be with. So when I told my boyfriend this particular thought, and he was like, I think he actually said it like he's disappointed in what I told him, that me agreeing to what my brother said, because number one, I'm not God, and number two, what we have between each other, did it feel real to me? Did it feel good to me? Did I feel at peace with it? And I told all these things are true. Like, it's the best thing that has ever happened to my life as at that time. The best thing that has happened to me then. And he said because it felt real to him, it felt everything to him. So why not we leave it to God, for God to direct us and see where it leads? That why are we supposed to be the one to sabotage this good thing that we have by ourselves? And that was the moment I realized that, okay, I need to actually get out of my head, and also not let projections from outside be what would stop what is going on here, what the good thing that is going on here. And I remember having met his mom, having known all his family and everything, and it just felt so right. And as at that time, I didn't understand what God was doing for me that time, because now that I know the truth, now that I know my identity in Christ, I realized that even then when I didn't know God, God was indirectly talking to me. God was directly talking to me with the posters that I saw on the wall, with my decision on the type of relationship that I wanted. It was just God putting me in line to say, check yourself, look at this, put like check yourself and put like an outline of what you want in a relationship, so that the next one that comes, you know if it is exactly what you want. And I remember that after we started dating for some months, and I went back to my jotter and my back end notes that I wrote in my head for the relationship that I wanted, it ticked everything. And I mean, I'm not even joking. Even from the past ones that I've always had, my fantasy in my head about the type of man that I wanted, it ticked everything. I've always loved tall guys. I've always loved bold guys, I've always loved guys with cute face. So even those appearances, behavior pattern, it ticked everything. His heart to God ticked everything. His heart to his family, it ticked everything, So I was like, I need to really not sabotage myself. I really need to really not spoil this good thing that God has given to me. And so that was the last discussion that we had that made me realize that it's either all or nothing. So that was how our relationship started. So I decided to not let all these thoughts stop me. And yeah, after we had our relationships going on, and then we got married, my brother was the best man on our wedding day, and he's the godfather to our 2 kids now. So that is a very good way to compensate him for all that he did, because honestly, he was watching out for me. And also I appreciate him for that so much, because he was there for me. He was my stronghold. If not for him, I wouldn't have met my man. So thank you, Uncle Yemi. And then shout out to my man. Happy birthday, the king of my heart. Thank you so much for loving me. Thank you for loving the kids and I so selflessly. Thank you for never giving me a minute or a moment in my life since I've met you to ever doubt your love for me. Thank you so much for all that you do. Thank you for always stretching yourself to be more, to do more for us. Thank you. May God bless you and may God continue to keep you. And I pray that this birthday will be the start of the great things that God has in plan for your life in the name of Jesus. As you step into this new year of your life, it will be from glory to glory. Your path will continue to shine from brighter to brighter till the very end in Jesus' name. I love you so very much. You know that yourself so much. And yeah, sure. Yeah, in the next video that I'll probably be sharing, I will be telling you the 2 times that I almost allowed my intrusive thoughts and self-sabotaging ways to almost break us up. And yeah, that is it for today. Thank you all so much for watching. I try to make this video as short as I can. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time when I come again, always remember that God is love and God loves you.